Hello to all. Welcome to Divas That Care Network. I am Joyce Benning, and I will be your host for this absolutely invigorating, robust lifestyle show. I want to thank each one of our listeners who have tuned in live today and the ones that will be listening to the recording on the podcast. I am just so very grateful and thankful for each one of you. And you are all in for a very amazing show today, as I have with me my returning diva, Lidia, better known as Lady Apona. And her and I are going to continue our talk on the divinity of horses, only today we're going to talk about how to connect to that divinity. Oh, man, I am just overly excited today to have this chat and to share with you listeners today through Lidia and what we're going to share with each one of you. So, Lidia, could you please introduce yourself to our listeners today?
Oh, absolutely. Hello, Joyce. It's such an honor and pleasure to be on your show again, and to all the listeners with us today and who'll be listening in the future. And I call myself a Renaissance woman. I'm a high-performance wellness coach and founder of EquineHealing.com, and I bring together 30 years of my passion, expertise, and wisdom in holistic healing into 4 pathways to help you in every stage of your personal development so you can heal, grow, and evolve and live a truly centered, connected, and conscious life. I actually became involved in holistic healing and healing with horses through my own incredible healing journey that started 50 years ago, as time flies, when I developed a deep relationship with nature and animals and horses. And this connection to nature and to the divine world helped me heal my chronic health conditions. And horses continue to come to me in dreams today as pillars of light. And I developed this beautiful, lasting connection with the divinity of horses, which is the title of my chapter in a new book by Soulful Valley Publishing called Evolving on Purpose, Co-Creating with the Divine, that is launching on Amazon on July 3rd. And in this book, I share my story of how my entire life changed when I had dreams telling me I was a sister of horses. And I then went on to create my horse rescue sanctuary, Apona Healing Ranch, in beautiful Rideau Lakes, Ontario, Canada, where we give special needs and unwanted horses a forever home. So my holistic coaching practice extends into my Equine-Assisted Therapy and Equine Healing Retreats, where we focus on connecting with horses through our heart, having transformational experiences with horses, where we practice connecting with our own divinity, our own self-empowerment and self-worth through stillness, silence, and presence.
Oh my. I loved all of that. Your introduction was it just touched my heart. I mean, just everything you were saying on how you've been in the holistic to heal, grow, and evolve, and to be centered, connected, and conscious, and then being the sister of horses and with the equine partnered therapy. Oh, it is just beautiful, Lidia. Oh, I love it. I can feel the energy. I can feel what you're doing is truly coming from your heart. You are totally focused and heart-centered on helping the horses and through them helping others to heal also. So, oh, how beautiful. I loved every moment of just your introduction to our listeners.
Well, thank you, Joyce. It's a true honor and pleasure to be sharing with you. And it really is the time on the planet now for us to feel that it's okay to heal, grow, and evolve and expand the awareness of who we are into a greater capacity to love unconditionally. And as you mentioned last time, without judgment of ourselves or others, and holding that sacred space for ourselves and for others. And horses provide this perfect aligned opportunity for us to do this.
Oh, yes, they definitely do. Oh, I love that, on having the awareness of who we are and holding that sacred space, because that just comes to my mind, because that's exactly what my mare just told me yesterday. She looked at me with her beautiful brown eyes and said, "We hold space for you always." And I'm like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
And that's just what you said, of holding the sacred space and how the horses hold that space for us. It is such unconditional love that they give to us, and they're always there. They do not judge. They just hold the space for us, and that is so beautiful.
Yes, and it's always there, as you're saying, and it's for us to move towards that. And horses provide us that sacred space opportunity in their presence with them, but also just from the horses being on the planet, they're creating, you might say, a frequency template that radiates out for us to feel safe, to heal, grow, and evolve. Because we're coming out of an old paradigm that's 13,500 years old. And our whole culture, our whole human existence has been somewhat stifled in expressing our own essence, our own joy, our own truth. And being by connecting with horses in a subtle, gentle way, we can help ourselves return to that, to our true essence, right, as humane, conscious beings who honor ourselves and honor all of life.
Oh, yes. Oh, how beautifully said. Yes, connecting and to our gentle, true essence. So we have to me, we have to connect to ourselves first in this way in order to be able to spread it out to the world, to others. And the horses help us in doing that connection. And then from there, we can spread it out and share that with the rest of the universe. And oh, how beautiful that is. And what a beautiful world it will be when we can all share that beautiful conscious essence of just being and loving who you are, like the horses love us for who we are.
Well, absolutely. And I think in our last interview, I mentioned that the horses recognized me before I recognized myself. And this is a really beautiful gift that horses bring as true divine angelic beings. They gently nudge you into your return to wholeness, which is ultimately your power. And many people ask, well, that sounds nice and that's great, but how do I start? How do I start to connect with the divinity of horses? And I do mention that in my chapter in the book, Evolving on Purpose, Co-Creating with the Divine. Would you like me to read that paragraph?
Oh, that would be beautiful. I would love that.
So, in my chapter, I shared the story of my horse Trigger that changed my entire life. And I write, as I started to connect with him through dreams, I wrote, I had listened to the messages. I honored the urgency of my spirit and took aligned actions. I felt the fullness of my emotions. I centered in my power. I embraced faith and inner knowing. And in so doing, I was guided to the high spiritual being who would heal me as much as I would heal him. So that was my excerpt from my chapter. And then, would you like me to share those 7 steps?
Yes, that would be beautiful. That
so
paragraph was so beautiful. Oh my goodness, that touched my heart. I just got chills as you were reading that, because that was incredible.
Well, it is true, because Trigger came to me in dreams asking for help to be saved from slaughter. And in my quest to find my courage and resources, emotionally, financially, everything, to save him, he healed me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So
I truly believe that.
It's always a mutual. It's always a mutual giving. That whenever we help horses, they equally and greater help us in different ways sometimes. Mm-hmm. And, I always like to say, ask not what horses can do for you, but what you can do for horses. And then you will awaken into a greater aspect of who you are. It's the giving is the receiving, is the expression, mm-hmm. right? But right. My 7 steps to finding greater fulfillment and purpose by co-creating with the divine, and in this case we're talking about horses, is first to be open to and listen to the messages, because they're all around us, and I'm sure we'll talk a bit about your experiences, and we all have cues or signals from the universe, whether it's a feather, that drops, or a bird that follows us around, or just a thought that repeatedly keeps urging us, or a dream, The second step is to honor and value the importance of these messages, the importance of your spiritual self, because we're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual beings, and we're evolving from an intellectually dominant paradigm into a holistic, integrated paradigm. And that's a whole master class just on that. The third step is feel the fullness of your emotions. So sometimes in life, when we have experiences, we're in a public place, or it's not the right time to fully process our emotions because we have to carry on with life. But when we can feel the fullness of the emotions that are being activated when we listen to the messages and honor our spirit, then we start to center and ground in our own essence, in our own power. The fourth step is to, as we progress, center in your power with your clarity. Connect with the clarity that's coming through. It doesn't matter what that is, because no one is going to hear it, no one's going to know it, no one's going to judge it, or see it or share it. This is all about cultivating a deep relationship with ourselves. And then as we practice this, then we have the confidence to utilize it more and more and see the results in our life. And this is what I talk about in my chapter in the book about how I went through this process that led me to actions that led me to the life I have now. You literally co-create with the divine for yourself and for the horses and for the planet. The fifth step is to embrace your faith and inner knowing. And as we become more comfortable, again, with that, it becomes easier to embrace that and to accept it and go forward without fear. To always know that you have yourself, and as long as you can connect with your own power and yourself, you're always divinely supported, but you have divine support at all times to go forward with what you want to do. And then miracles happen from that, which takes us to step 6. Then as we're centered, connected, and conscious, we take aligned actions that are aligned with our essence, that are aligned with the messages, that are aligned with our inner knowing, with our emotional strength. Emotions are strengths. They aren't weaknesses, they're strengths. And then to trust in the journey that's unfolding. And I like to say, as we journey, there is no insignificant action. So we never want to feel bad or feel like we're not, doing as much as we like, because every action has a ripple effect throughout the world. And we don't know the miracles that we're creating for ourselves, for others, for the horses, for the other animals and planets, plural planets, that are unbeknownst to us.
Mm-hmm.
And this all comes back to what we were saying about holding sacred space. Because when we hold sacred space, then it creates a phenomenal pillar of light for other miracles and sacred spaces to unfold. And then to feel good about that, to have self-worth and self-value and self-empowerment, that you came to this planet as a high spiritual being to love and support and act for the highest good. And the horses are a gateway. They are an angelic being, a divine presence to help us manifest all of this.
Oh, how beautiful. Yes, I love those seven steps and 7 different ways. That is just beautiful. I mean, because my mare told me your first one was listen, and she said listen in the silence to connect. And I'm like, oh my, how true that is. And when you said feather, that is something that is a true sign to me that the angels and the divine are right there with us, because I find feathers everywhere. It's when I need them the most, there's one right there, just to let you know, a sign from above that they're right there looking after you. They are holding the sacred space for you, and that's what they mean to me. So that was just beautiful when you said that. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're just touching my heart, because that's exactly what I think about when I see a feather, and I love that. It's just a sign. And all through the 7 steps, but I wanted to definitely touch on the first one, because that was exactly what my mare said, listen in the silence, and I love that. And it is, if you just take that moment to listen, you will be amazed how connected you can become. And to me, that is just a beautiful connection.
Well, I love even the expression, listen in the silence, because in order to do that, we have to start to breathe. We have to start to release and receive, right? The listening is the receiving. And we start to feel comfortable in our own stillness and our own presence. And this is one of the greatest challenges for humans at this time, is to release the doing, the activity, and enter into the being of human being, of being a humane, conscious steward of. And we all have it within us, and we're all evolving in our own time and way with our own state of being, our own healing and growth and evolution. But the expression, listen in the silence to connect, is magnificent. And horses are masters of this, because horses, like most animals, are silent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most of the time.
Got it. Yeah. To me, they talk to you in the silence.
Yeah.
Because you have to calm your busy mind that's always going with all the things we think we need to do, and calm that and shut that down and open up your heart to them. And then it just starts to flow. And that was another thing she said, open your heart and not your human mind. Just kind of close that down and just come be with us. And to me, that is so true, because that's where it all comes in, is through your heart.
Well, absolutely. The heart is the greatest gateway to our soul. And we've mentioned the Heart Math Institute and the phenomenal work they do, including their studies with horses and measuring the electromagnetic field of a horse's heart, and measuring the response of people when they're just standing beside a horse. And this is the beauty of connecting with the divinity of horses, because we don't have to do anything. We can just be with them. And this is the greatest teaching at this time, is to just allow ourselves the luxury of being and not feeling the pressure and the stress and the constraints and the, the high expectations that we sometimes have of ourselves, that when we enter into that flow state with horses, then all those to-dos and goals and high expectations will unfold, but in an easier, more aligned way. Life becomes easier with horses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, so much. And it just helps you in so many different ways in your life, too, because I was thinking of another one of them in your 7 was feel the fullness of the emotions. And that was another thing my mare said, was let the tears flow. And I mean, how better way sometimes us women think, oh, we can't cry, that, no, can't do this, or it's got to be somewhere else. But I mean, that is just feeling the fullness of the emotion, is letting those tears flow. And it just came to me as you were talking now, how she had said that too, and it just brought it about, of feeling that fullness of all of our emotions. And I heard once that strong women cry, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how beautiful that is. And then her saying that on let the tears flow, and you saying feel the fullness of our emotions, and it's just heartwarming. Like I said, it's just touching my heart, and I getting chills as we just talk about all this, because it is so true on connecting to your inner self.
Well, yes, and the horses have come to the planet as these angelic divine beings to hold the light and to allow this process of self-discovery for us to unfold with greater ease. And it's really time, as we mentioned before, it's really time to honor them as divine beings. It's the least that we can do for all they've done for us, but also we have been given this gift that is right in front of us, called horses. And yes, horses, we can enjoy horses in a variety of capacities, and that's all wonderful, but their greatest gift to us is our own healing and personal development. They've helped us evolve through the ages on very functional levels, right? And through transportation and agriculture, which has helped us also heal, and also provide goods and services through pulling carts and carriages and fighting in wars with us directly. And now they continue to support us through the time on the planet where we are evolving spiritually. And that includes our emotions. That includes connecting with the heart and our higher consciousness. And it's very simple. These 7 steps are by no means the only steps, but they're a good introduction for us to feel comfortable connecting with our own divinity and the divinity of horses, and in so doing, activating our own power of choice, our own power to live our true self, and really value who we are, to embrace our self-worth, and live without fear in that inner knowing that we always have divine support.
Oh, yes. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, Lydia, this was just incredible. I love that, too, our self-worth, and to live our true self and know our worth in this world. Oh, that is just beautiful. Well, Lydia, this has gone so quickly. You and I could talk about this for hours, I know, because we could go through each of the 7 steps and bring in so many different ways to share with our listeners. So as we come to a close of this show today, Would you please share with the listeners the best ways to connect with you?
Absolutely. So you are welcome to go to my website, Apona Healing, APONA healing.com. And I have a newsletter sign up there, and I send out regular notices about our retreats, about our healing programs, inspirational quotes and blogs, experiences with horses. And also I'm active on my personal Facebook page and the Apona Healing Ranch Facebook page. We're also on Instagram and LinkedIn, but my personal Facebook page and the Apona Healing Ranch Facebook page are where you'll find me the most.
Okay. Oh, fantastic, Lidia. And Lidia, so the listeners know, I would like to have you back on my show in the coming month of June so we can continue to share your beautiful knowledge and all about the horses and the consciousness and this being centered and connected to conscious. So I would love to have you back in the following month. Would that be a possibility?
Oh, that would be. I'm speechless. That would be amazing. It's a great honor to be on your phenomenal show, Joyce. What you're doing with your show is changing the world, and it's like a beacon of light to raise the vibration and help us all heal and grow and evolve. And we'll continue in June. That's so exciting to talk about how we can align with the divinity of horses and our own divinity to live our greatest and highest and best life.
Oh, I love it. I am so excited. I'm ready for the next show already because this is going to be beautiful. And thank you so much for all your kind words, and thank you so much for being a guest on Robust Lifestyles. And I want to wish you and all your horses a very magical Monday.
Well, thank you, and same to you and your horses. And as I said earlier, I always like to remember, ask not what horses can do for you, but what you can do for horses.
Oh, yes, I love that. That is beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Lidia. Until we connect again. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. And I want to thank all of our listeners for listening to this incredible, amazing show with our amazing diva, Lidia, Lady Apona. Please share this show with your family and friends. Check out all the other hosts and their shows on divasthatcare.com. And as Lidia said, that's not what horses can do for you, but what you can do for them. And a couple other things is, remember, horses are angelic divine beings, and they give gifts to us in our own healing to help us to know our true self and our true worth. So honor them, these horses, as the divine beings that they are in this universe. And be kind to all. All of you have an absolutely magical day. Give your animals that great big extra hug and share all your love with them until we connect again on Robust Lifestyles. Stay strong and healthy.